It's funny, when I first created this YouTube channel, I had one rule, and that was never to do gear review videos. They are the lowest form of art, the scourge of YouTube. And about 1 year later, I am doing a gear review video. But forgetting that hypocrisy, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to run through the items which I just love. Those items that make my running just much more enjoyable. Those items that have allowed me to progress the way I have in my running journey.
I believe it says, oh wait, 100.
But before we begin, there is one disclaimer that I want to make. And that is, this equipment, while making running easier, should not be the reason why you run. This equipment should enable your running journey. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this. If you're thinking about going on a run, don't wait until you've got the right gear, but get your shoes on and get running right away. And with that, let's jump into the first item. So there are those items which you just love. You don't exactly know why you love them, you just do. And this is one of those items, a more recent addition to my running arsenal. And it is these. The Bose Quiet Ultra Comfort something or rather. I'll put the name down below. But essentially these are open ear earphones. And they're probably the most comfortable earphones, if not things, I've ever worn in my entire life. So not many people know about these, but essentially how they work is they clip underneath your ear, just like that. And while looking very stylish, they also have fantastic sound, and to be honest, they just will not come out at all. Sometimes I even forget I'm wearing them. Those are the positives. The negatives are, they're very expensive, they're not very loud. Also, being open ear earphones, they also let in all the background noise. So if you're running on the treadmill or running next to a busy road, you can kind of barely hear what's going through your earphones. But aside from that, if you're running out in the trails by yourself, or even if you want to listen to something while talking to a buddy, they're ideal. And most importantly, you just look cool wearing them. So on to the second item. Now some of the best things are those which are incredibly simple, but before you know it, you're using it on pretty much every run, and it is this, a running belt. Now I see people holding phones in strange places, on their arms, on the front of their chest, in their hands, even in their pocket, flying about. I personally like to use this running belt. You just put your phone in there and it goes around your waist. It's a game changer. And to prove to you how much I've used it, it's even got a hole in the back. But to be honest, for me this is the most comfortable way I have found to carry my phone. Ah yes, now onto the OG of running gear, the Garmin Forerunner. Now this does a lot of things, and I probably don't use 99% of it. For me, I very simply use this to record what I've done, show me how I'm progressing in a race or on my training run, and also to show me where I need to go using the maps and built-in route navigation. For me, it's as simple as that. I don't use any of the VO2, the sleep sensors, any of the other fancy gimmicks. They just don't interest me. Some might say I'm wasting potential, and you're probably right. But for me, you can't go wrong with a Garmin. Go on, I sound like a salesman. To give you the negatives, I've had about 3 or 4 of these in a row, and none of them actually lasted the 2-year warranty, so I kept on getting replaced. Which is a fantastic way not to need to replace it with your own money, but it also shows that potentially the quality is sometimes not always the best. It's either that, or I use and abuse it, which is potentially more likely. So moving on to another very simple yet effective addition is this. The running flask. It's a flask with a strap, which means you can carry your bottle while you're running. I used to have a pretty bad habit of going on runs and actually not drinking any water because I couldn't bother to bring a running vest. However, this is perfect on those shorter runs where you probably need to drink some water, but also can't bother to put on your running vest. So you just grab this, I find a tap on my run and fill it up. There we go, something to keep you hydrated. Simple. Yes, so actually this is the 4th time I've tried to record this video. I've had issues throughout the way, mainly due to my bad videography. But the first time I was doing it, it was raining. So this was a perfect demonstration of the importance of a running jacket. And to be honest, if it's winter and it's likely going to rain or it's super cold, this is something I pretty much bring on every single one of my runs. But the main thing I wanted to show you is this. So this is my second Hagloss jacket, and they are incredible. I've never had any issues. They've lasted all my abuse, and they just work well. Highly recommend. And also, if it's raining, put your hood up, and you've got no excuse not to go out, whether it's raining or not. Ooh, what should we move on to next? Ah, yes. Vaseline. Now, if anybody has ever had issues with chafing before, you know how much of a lifesaver and godsend lube, or more accurately, Vaseline can be. This is something that I always carry with me when I'm doing a long run, and I haven't had any issues. Well, I've had one issue in the past. You can check out this video if you want to know more. But essentially ended my run when I could barely run anymore. Not because of my muscles, but because every step was agonising due to chafing in an area that I won't explicitly mention. The long story short is, if you're doing any long running, wear some Vaseline and keep it with you. You don't know when it might come in handy. And don't mess around with any expensive running lube. Vaseline does the job. Oh yes, another game-changing item to my running arsenal. The massage gun. Now, there was my running life before I got a massage gun, and there was my running life after I got a massage gun. But this is incredible. You know when you wake up early in the morning and your muscles feel sore? Or if you're about to go on a run and they feel stiff? This, 10, 20, 30 seconds, really does the job at loosening those muscles up. Warming them up for the day or the run you've got ahead of you. I found that this was a pretty instrumental tool in my recovery journey. And to go with that is my second high recommendation of an ice pack. Now this is great because it comes with a band, so you just shove the ice pack in, wrap it around any ligaments, any muscles which are sore, and it just feels great. It really takes the edge off any niggles or any pain that you have. If you don't use ice in your recovery journey, and to be honest, you're just doing it wrong. This lesson was learned the hard way. And on to another very sexy and attractive purchase. It's this. Now, I've recently moved to Australia. I'm also originally from the UK, so I burn easily. But this is pretty game changing in keeping the sun off your neck and off your face. It not only makes you feel like a proper ultra runner, it's also very stylish, as you can see, and it's just perfect for those long races when you just can't keep the sun cream on. There's nothing worse than finishing a race and the next day your skin is raw from being burned. Now onto my final addition for this video. Now if you've been running for 14 hours, let's say 3 AM in the morning, you're barely awake, you might be slightly hallucinating, you just feel terrible. There's one thing that you depend on, and that's your head torch. And this has got me through many a night section. The best thing about it is it has the weight at the back, not the front, so you don't have some massive lump moving up and down. It fits really nicely, it doesn't shake when you're running, and it just works very well. Highly recommend this. Any runner who's running in the night needs a proper head torch. It's not something that you want to break when you're alone in the woods by yourself. And with that, that's the video. So hopefully you enjoyed, or at least found it vaguely useful. These are all items which I love. I'm not sponsored, so I highly recommend checking them out. And if you did enjoy the video, I'd be grateful if you give it a thumbs up. And with that, cheers, and see you soon.